I'm calling us as a church, you may be seated, that in the season of Lent, which is the 40 days leading up to Easter, our church is going to be in a fast of 40 days of consistent prayer. Come on, I can't hear nobody. I said 40 days of consistent prayer. Lent starts on Wednesday, March the 5th. And for 40 consecutive days, our church will be in prayer. Some of those days will be here in person, other days will be virtually, other days will be on the phone, but 40 consistent days of prayer. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, I am calling us, listen to me, because we have to operate in the spiritual. I am calling the conscientious Christian community all over this country, the conscientious Christian community all over this country. I am calling for a 40-day fast from Target.
You know what it's time to fast from? It's time to fast from Jamal Bryant. It's time to fast and boycott New Birth. So Jamal Bryant is in the news, obviously, because now he wants to not only have a fast for his church, he wants his church to fast Target. Why is Jamal Bryant fascinated with boycotting and fasting Target? Because Target has rolled back their DEI policy. And as I say over and over and over again, Jamal Bryant is a church plant. Jamal Bryant is a plant by the Democratic Party to keep the black community in a permanent state of victimhood. He's part of that triumvirate. The church plant pastors, the black Greek letter organizations, the black bougie elite, the black civic organizations, the academics, the politicians, those folks, the athletes, and the entertainers. They all conspire to keep black people in a permanent state of victimhood. Who do you think this hurts, Jamal Bryant, if you boycott Target? If you tell your people to fast from Target? Really? Why aren't you fasting from some other stores like Walmart? They're rolling back DEI. How about fast from McDonald's? Yeah, how about you fast from McDonald's? They're rolling back DEI. They'll do more for black folks to fast from McDonald's than it would from fast from Target. But no, see, the trick is Target had promised some money to some black folks. And therefore, Target's not going to do that. So therefore, these folks got to jump on Target to get that money. That's what it's about, to get that money. See, I am done with these black liberation theology church plant folks who get so, they are using your anger and aggravation, misplaced as it is, for their benefit. Dude gets popularity off of it. He gets some money from it. Him and Al Sharpton and all the rest of them with these fake boycotts that do nothing for the black community at large, do nothing for Americans at large. I think it's time that we boycott and fast. Where were you, Jamal Bryant, 2 years ago when Target was pushing all this pride and LGBTQ stuff? Where were you then, sir? Crickets. Crickets. Nowhere to be found. Silent as a church mouse. But now, because Target has decided to roll back DEI, you out here calling for a fast from Target. Man, miss me with that.
Beginning on March the 5th, 100,000 conscientious Christians. You don't have to be black, Latino, Asian.
Now watch the wording, conscientious Christians. What is a conscientious Christian other than a black liberation Christian, a Christian that believes in social justice? He's using phraseology that some people may not catch on to. A conscientious Christian. Every Christian should be conscientious. Every Christian should be concerned about the welfare of their brothers and sisters. That's what it says in Galatians. Bear you one another's burdens and fulfill the law of Christ. You should always think about your brother more than you think about yourself. Yes, as a Christian, you should. But see, people like this twist the scripture in order to justify their political aims, to justify the agenda that they have. Conscientious Christian. You know what's conscientious? People that don't listen to your message on a daily basis. I feel bad for those folks that go to this man's church. See, that's the problem you have with hyper-charismatic churches like this. This is a hyper charismatic church. What do I mean by a hyper charismatic church? This is a church where everything points towards the pastor and not to God. This is a church where the truth of the gospel is not preached. This is a church where black liberation theology, social justice is preached. That's why I call them church plants. But he's the worst kind of church plant. He's a church plant that's hyper charismatic. So not only does he have the church plant agenda from the Democratic Party, he uses his position to further the aim of himself.
White 100,000. You're going to sign this commitment to be a part of this 40-day fast. 100,000 of you bare minimal. I'm asking you that after service you'll go to targetfast.org. Targetfast.org. I want you to share with everybody on your job, every person in your home, every person in your sphere of influence, every person who follows you on social media. I am believing for 100,000 people are going to sign this covenant commitment of not just prayer, but fasting from Target. Here's what is amazing. Listen to me, because what we learned from the Montgomery bus boycott is that racist America doesn't respond to speeches. They respond to dollars. Come on, and if they start losing $29 million a day for 40 days, we will break the back of the system.
This is the wrong message to be giving black people today. You should be telling black people, hey, you know you have a great opportunity right now. All of these illegal people are being deported. There's so much you can do right now because there's a shortage of labor. How about you go out and start a business? How about you go out and start a contracting company, the ones that can work with your hands? How about you go out and do some things from a plumbing, learn a trade, so you can fill that gap that is there now because a lot of these illegal folks have been deported. How about you give them that message instead of this stale government dependent message? There is no way a real man of God should preach a message of dependence upon the government. But he's not a real man of God. He is a church plant. That's what he does. He is furthering the aim of the Marxists and the communists and the socialists. That's what this dude is. This dude is a true definition of a church plant. But we have so many of these church plants in the black community that the community will remain in a permanent state of victimhood because they don't think. They're led by their emotions. And people like him know that.
I want to go on record that not only am I asking you to fast for 40 days from Target, I am telling you to sell all of your Target stock. I want the stock to go down because we are standing in righteous indignation against racism and sexism in this nation. I hear the naysayers, I hear the pundits, I hear those who are detractors saying, how will this impact our black businesses? I'm glad you asked. You at New Birth, you're not at their church. So as a consequence, when it is that you register to be a part of this 40-day fast, we have come into partnership with the National Black Chamber of Commerce.
Dude has no idea about business. You have to build up supply. Who's going to be your distributor, sir? Where are they going to take these products for these folks that sell in Target? They already have distribution lines already set up to go to Target. Who can handle this on a national scale? Just think about that. Think about how asinine this boycott is. See, the Montgomery bus boycott was targeted. It was targeted, and they had an alternative way of overcoming it. As a matter of fact, they should have kept going. They should establish more black buses and black transportations and they could establish an Uber way back then. Yeah, they could have. They could have had an idea of they could have had something similar to what we have in Uber right now. They could establish some black taxi cabs during that time. But instead, they just want to be part of the system. They boycotted for a long period of time, and then they went back to riding the bus. How about you just stick with what got you there? Stick with the people that got you there. Buy your own bus. Build your own, create your own taxi line companies. This is so dumb. Dude has no idea about business. He doesn't understand supply chain. He doesn't understand how it takes time to build up those distribution channels. And what store can handle these folks that are in Target? But see, people don't think. They're led by their emotions. And when you're controlled by your emotions, you're like a city without walls. You have no defense. People can tell you anything and you'll run with it.
I need Target to be on full alert because we are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order. I'm going to say it again. We're operating in decency and in order. I'm saying this before they got a new FBI chief that calls us a terrorist organization. We doing it in decency and in order. Target, you got 40 days to pull it together because you made a commitment after the death of George Floyd that you would invest $2 billion into the black community before, watch this, December of 2025. So you to pull out of that commitment in January, you are reneging to the financial commitment you made to our people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You got 40 days before we shut all of it down. We are calling all of the stockholders to be accountable to the commitment that you made to black people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And I got naysayers saying, won't you just preach the gospel? I'm preaching the gospel. Jesus kicked over tables and used the whip to drive people out when they were out of order in handling God's people.
Look, it's time for us to fast Jamal Bryant and New Birth. I call for a 40-day fast. Matter of fact, I call for a lifetime fast of Jamal Bryant and New Birth, because that kind of teaching will lead you to hell. I'm just being frank with you. Listen to that man preach will lead you to hell. Fast, because you're not getting the real gospel. You're getting another gospel. You're getting this black liberation, Marxist theology, Democratic Party gospel that is not the truth. I'm telling you now, you are getting an emotional God of blackness message. That's what you're getting when you're listening to Jamal Bryant and people like him. And all that does is make you a victim. And we're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.